Hi, friend. Today we are going to be painting this whimsical fall folk art inspired landscape painting. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I am going to be using my Karataki Gamzai Tombi watercolors. I'm still trying to get used to these, so we'll see how it goes. So we are going to begin with the sky. I am going to do wet on wet. So I'm going to go around these little houses that I painted. And for the sun kind of slash moon, I'm going to see how the sky turns out. It's going to be a little bit of intuitive on that painting here. And I kind of want to go for like um sunset type afternoon where like the moon's just kind of peeking out, but yet it's not out all the way. And that's kind of what I'm going for. I had this sketched ahead of time. So, okay. So as you can see, got a couple houses and some hills and a little bit of a mess through here, but it'll be okay. I had to erase a couple times, and so I'm going to take a little bit of this yellow. I'm just going to go ahead and put that, spread it out a little bit more than what I wanted it, but we'll get it fixed here in a few. So I'm just kind of laying this yellow in to begin with. And I am using a size 12 round heritage right now, because I wanted to have something a little bit bigger. Okay, so I got a little bit more yellow than what I wanted, so I'm just gonna kind of work it through here. Okay. Now I am gonna take a little bit of this orange, put it in, because I wanted it to be a little bit more kind of on the orangey side, but not a real bright. Because we still got to put in our leaves and everything, so for the trees. But I didn't want the orange to be really crazy bright because we still got to put the trees in the background and it's fall time, so okay. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the ultramarine and indigo mix, a little bit more indigo, and I'm going to put that on top. Now, some of my yellow had bled through, so I'm hoping it's not going to make it look too greenish. And going over that moon, and it's going to be I want it to be a full moon. And I am using Boa Hong paper today. The reason why I chose Boa Hong is I wanted to have a better impression. In my sketchbook, I couldn't tell, but it almost seemed like the binding was going bad. So I went ahead and trying to blend this out a little bit. give it a little bit of depth to the sky to show a little bit of perspective. Bringing that on down a little bit. I think we're just going to go ahead and maybe bring that on down. Make this guy look pretty freaky, huh? We will make that work. I'm going to go ahead and go a little darker. I don't like how it's looking green, and it wasn't blending too well. One thing I'm finding with these Ganzai Karataki, I do not think they blend the greatest with like the wet on wet technique. I don't know necessarily if they were even designed to do that a whole lot. We will see. I'm trying to get to where I like these a little bit better for my style of painting, but so far, not digging it. Good. I get the sky pretty dark up top. So I'm going to add just a hair of the black because I wanted, that might be too much. Because, there we go. Because I really want to show up top is, okay, kind of working it down. There. Think this might be okay. So I'm just going to clean up around the houses a little bit with a dry, thirsty brush. And I am going to use a flat brush for that because I just want to clean up a little bit around the edges here. Got a little crazy. And then our houses, when we do that, will cover that up. So I just kind of wanted to get it for the most part. Okay. And then same thing here. Just kind of tidy it up a little bit. Should have grabbed a paper towel, but I did not. So sometimes you just gotta improvise. Okay. So now we're gonna go ahead and work on our road. And for our little path here, I'm gonna go ahead and add some burnt sienna. This is the indigo mix kind of slash burnt sienna. Is we're getting kind of that color. So as you can see, that's pretty nice color we got. And so I'm going to go ahead and lay this down. I'm just using my flat brush, but you can really use any size brush you want at this point in time for this. And I'm going to go ahead and dab this off. We may end up taking a little bit of gouache or something to our house. So, because it's wanted to bleed, but that's okay. we'll either use a little bit of gouache or color pencil for that. Anyway, let's put in our little road. Hope everybody's having a lovely day. I know I have been really busy. Still trying to get things around to open up my Etsy shop, which I will be doing when I get back from my vacation. And so I will be recording from Orange Beach, Alabama, but I think we'll have a couple videos in the meantime. I'm trying to get better at doing them like once again. When I first started, I did amazing and was keeping it up with it, but got busy and then got out of practice of doing it. And so now it's just like, what am I gonna paint? And so trying to get my mojo back for it. So, okay, we got our little path here. And I'm really liking how the background's turning out. And I'm going to go ahead and I want to fill in this little house. So I'm going to take some more of the burnt sienna. And so now we got kind of like a warm brown. And that is going to be perfect for the roof. Let me tell you, these flat brushes, okay, so it pretty much will do the shape for you if you let it. Trying to get this straight. Don't have to be perfect because this is a whimsical house. But I don't want it to be really off-centered or whatever. Okay. And put a little bit more blue on this side for a little bit of shading. Perfect. And then I'm going to take a little bit of that color and I'm going to go down for the door. So we got the door, we got our roof, and then this is still wet. So we're going to go ahead and do this in parts so things will have time to dry. And we will figure out this situation soon of how to approach that. But we need to let it to sky dry. So moving on, I'm going to go ahead and take some of this, wet it. But I want to take some of this sap green. Taking some of this viridian. To the viridian, I'm going to add some of this orange. And basically is what it's going to do is give us a couple different colors. So we kind of got this khaki green. We got the sap green. And then we got this kind of like a middle shade. So we got like three greens going on. So I want to begin by taking darkest color green, and I am going to start by putting it in here, bringing that color on down, and then taking some of this middle green, and finally the lightest green towards the front. And then this way adds a little bit of dimension to our graphics. So I love how that looks. Now, because this is a back hill, should be dry enough. I'm going to take a little bit of our blue here. Add in a little bit of green. We're going to go ahead and fill in this little hill. The reason why we're doing it this color is because I wanted to show that it's a distant hill. The house is on the distance hill. So we got the hill. I want the color just to be a hair different than the sky, so going a little bit over it with khaki green. Kind of like so. We got this little hill that we're going to go ahead and do some green to it, but I want it to be getting a little bit darker now. Trying to hold this so you guys can see it. So we got our second hill. And this one, we're going to kind of do the same thing, making it a little bit darker and a little bit closer so we can add a little bit of color. And then when we do this, it's going to push the one back. The one is pushed back. Just making this a little bit brighter. Okay. So we got 3 of our hills done. Loving that. It's giving it some distance. So now we just got this last hill. And we want this one to be the brightest because it is the one closest to us. So we'll go ahead and fill this in. Just add in the colors. We will fill in, the trees last. We know where they're supposed to be. And we can just take the green because the trees are going to be dark enough, the bark and stuff is going to go right over it. Taking that color right up to the house and trying to keep everything going forward as it goes wet so we don't get no hard lines. Just taking this, over and across. Just filling it in. Everything is a little wet. It is fall, so we're just going to add a little bit of dry patches of that brown. Okay. So now we are going to let that dry. And I love how that's looking. Filling in just those little spots where it's just showing a little bit of white. Okay. Perfect. So we got our little hills. Everything is looking pretty good on that. So now we can go ahead and do the details of the house. So we're going to go ahead and put in another door here. Love that. And I want a black roof, but need to get it to where it's a little thinner. And, and then this. So is everybody ready for fall? I have to admit, I I started having hot flashes. So at this point in time of my life, I think I am really gonna embrace winter this year. Mhm. Any other people are watching if they deal with hot flashes, but I am, and it is not exactly the most fun. Sorry if my hand or anything is in the way, but there's no good way to do this. And I just had to pick a more complicated roof design. And you guys don't have to. You could have picked a simpler, but I wanted this type of look. And then I think I'm going to change this to a black door. Okay. And then let's get more of a brownie door for here. And that one don't really have one. Okay. For the houses, we can possibly use a little bit of gouache. But for right now, then the next thing I would like to do is I'm going to take a size 6 round, and I have a little bit of a yellow mix here. And since it is getting a little bit more nighttime, I'm going to add a little bit of that brown too. And we kind of want almost like a dirty, yeah, about like that color, a little bit more yellow. Okay. Something kind of like that color for the warmth of the building. I want to add a little bit of yellow. To the windows. Getting these all filled in. One more. So I got the windows. Got the yellow on those. Lovely. So now I want to go ahead and put in our trees. So I'm going to add a little bit of the brown to it and made a kind of like a dark, almost like a burnt umber, raw umber type color. And I want to put a tree here. We can put one here. One thing about this color, this paint is it's pretty opaque. So it's helping with covering up some things. Okay. And then one there. And I think I want to put one. With a little bit of what? Put a little bit of a shadow. So I just kind of went in the base a little bit. It's a little bit better if you can do it right away with it being wet, but then I'm just kind of taking my finger and smoothing it out because I didn't like how that looked. So just kind of I'm blending it out. And see, these are examples of when you kind of just need to leave it alone. Mm, just give me a second and see if I can blend this out. Okay, that's a little bit better. Anyway, there we go. So now I want to go ahead and start adding some of our fall colors. Actually, it's nighttime, so we're just going to have to make them dark. Darker. And what I kind of like to do is just give it a little bit of a whimsical kind of look. So I'm just dabbing the brush. And with it being dark, going with the nighttime look, the trees are going to look black. So just trying to get an organic shape of the trees. Another one here. Loving it. One here. As you can see, I'm just kind of wiggling the brush. One here. And then this one here. Kind of tapping and getting a little bit darker. because this one is towards the front. Okay, very good. Making the tree trunks a little bit darker. Blending it out. Okay, so we got that so far. And so now we need to do the house. And when we do the house, we're definitely going to need some white gouache. So I got some Holbein white gouache here. I am going to make sure I got fresh, clean water. We're going to do our houses. And the gouache is going to work out great. Okay. Got my brush loaded. So basically what I'm going to do is I am going to clean up these houses. And I wanted them to be white. So I'm using gouache since I got a little carried away with our night sky. But if you did not get carried away with your night sky, you can absolutely just leave it white, where I cannot. Okay. And then we can go ahead and fix our windows, because that will can go over. We'll just go ahead and paint over it and make it easy for ourselves. Just do the windows over. There's always more than one way to skin a cat, right? You know that old saying? Okay, let's do this one, but trying to be more mindful of our windows. Excuse my head if it's in the way, but basically you're just going around all your little windows and painting it white. Going over a tree to make the house. There we go. So, I think same thing with this. We'll just go over it and we can just fix it later. We'll add in our windows after. It's just going to make it a lot easier. Okay. That one we can pretty much almost, well, we'll fix it. Taking it down. And anything we need to touch up windows wise, we will. Okay, there's that one. And then I'm just going to go over the windows on this and make it easy for myself since we are using gouache. I want to put a little bit of stars. So for that, we want to really water the gouache down. And then we're just going to up a little bit. We don't want a lot of stars because it ain't that dark yet. So just add in a few stars in at the top. And that's in our brush. So a few little stars, and then I'm going to go ahead and take some more of this white and fix this house here. And then same thing with this one. I want to go ahead and just go ahead and cover it with the white. And then we'll go over the doors and the windows. So there is that. So what I am going to do, we're going to go ahead and give it a dry. It's help having one of these heat guns, but if you don't have a heat gun, you are more than welcome to use a blow dryer. Keeping it off the masking fluid though, however. Okay. So that is dried. And so I am gonna take my real tiny yellow, my flat brush. Or it's my filbert. And then I'm gonna put the windows back in. And basically what I am gonna do is I'm taking a little bit of the gouache and mixing it with that yellow to make sure it's opaque enough for what I'm gonna want it for. And then we're gonna put the windows in. So window there, one here, here, and here. And voila. So boom, 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 boom. And with using this brush, it really makes everything easy. It does the shape for us, which is what we want. And then Just making sure our windows are nice and bright. Okay, so we got our windows in. And we're going to go ahead and give those a dry. Okay. And then I am going to take my Fude pen, or this, yeah, Fude Tsuke Tombow pen. And I am going to go ahead, go around the windows and put in our little window frames. This little house. Basically, we're just trimming the houses. So trimming the and giving them a little bit more shape. Okay, so I love that. And then I'm going to attempt a back. Okay, a little bat in the sky. It's not the perfect bat, but that's okay. And then our little moon. So let's get the moon a little bit better. Like so. like adding a little bit of color to it because, you know, the moon has its dips and so I love how this turned out. If you guys like the video, make sure you hit the like down below. Or if you haven't subscribed and you like the material you're seeing, please feel free to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you know you can be notified when I have another upload. So we added a little bit of gray to that. I'm just trying to do a couple last minute touches. We are just about done. Sometimes you'll see something when you're about done and you just want to do it, making it look a little bit better. Perfect. I'm gonna fill in this one too a little bit more. I want the roof darker. With kind of going over this, it's not such a hard line from the pen. I'm still trying to get used to that particular pen, so I haven't used it a whole lot. That looks a lot better. It definitely felt that the roofs needed to be a little bit darker. Good in that. And then we'll do this one up front too. We'll just make about the roofs all about the same. 'Cause I just think it's blending everything in a little bit better. Well, that's it for the video. If you guys like what you've seen, please hit the like I said below. It really helps other people find me with the algorithm. Darkening the door. So, oh, and before I forget, I wanted to add a couple little pumpkins. And I will do that with color pencil. So I am going to take some of this orange. I am just going to color in a few pumpkins. And then the stems. So I hope you guys like the video. And I am looking forward to the next one. You guys have a great day. Bye, everyone. Enjoy. And that is our final look. Thanks for watching.